Yo, what's popping? Here with another Photoshop tutorial. Uh, Today we're going to be talking about blending modes. So um, let's just hop right into it, huh? Am I right? Cool. All right. So we want this. So here's So I have a couple examples I'm going to show just to show like what you can do with it. So I'm going to first start with this one. I took this photo a while back, and I thought, hey, let's add a little bit more flair to it, a little bit more, literally flair, a little bit more, uh, involve like a little bit sparks of it. I don't know. I thought that would be a little interesting. So I found this picture of just sparks online, and it was like this, right? And while you can go in and either color key out all the black, or go in and make layer mask and take out every individual spark. One very easy way to just make it so it shows only the sparks is with blending modes. So blending modes is you have layers, so you have layers, right? And every layer has this box right here up here that says normal. If you click on that, you get this drop down menu of different blending modes. So obviously normal is just the picture on top of another picture, but when you get down to some of these blending modes, you have a lot of options of how the layer blends with the layers below it. So we have the first two, which are just the same picture. Dissolve just means the edges are a little bit like flared a bit. And then we have the darken section. We have the lighten section. We have we have like other like harsh stuff. We have a couple color related stuff, and then we have some weird stuff that you might not even need. I'm going to talk about mainly these two sections, the darken and the lighten section. So for this image, we just want the everything that's all the black parts of this top layer to be not visible. And how we can do that is with this lighten section. What this section does is it takes any colors or any hues or any parts of the picture underneath that is lighter than the current color and in a given pixel. It brings that ahead of it. It removes the darker color. So as you can see on the original, we have a lot of black, like right here for instance, and since the image below it, it's not black right here, it brings out the different colors that are below it that are lighter than black, which is everything. So it removes all the black within that image, and you can get this sparks. And as you can see, I think it's a bit much, so I'll use lighten. I'll maybe bring the opacity down a little bit, and maybe even do a layer mask. And how we can do this is we can just remove some parts that maybe I don't think there should be sparks here. Maybe it's a bit excessive up on the edges. I'm going to be a bit more soft with that so it's not as aggressive. But as you can see, I think this is already way better, or something like that. To show a bit more of how this works, I have this picture here, and it's kind of just boring. I don't know. I think you can add a little bit more to it, so I wanted to add like snow, and I found this picture of just snowflakes. And obviously, we don't want the black here, and we know that all the colors behind it is white and literally everything brighter than black. So what I did was I just went to the lighten section and I used screen. So lighten is like the just basic one. Screen is like, I guess, lighten plus. Then you have a little bit more options like color dodge and lighter colors and stuff. But I'm going to use screen. And as you can see, it already removed all the black. There's a little bit more texture with the snow, which I kind of like. I'm going to decrease the opacity a little bit because I don't want it to be overwhelming, but I do want some of that texture there. And I'm going to add some motion blur, which I already have here, just so it gives the snow some movement, so it's not just like dots on the screen. Alright, so now that we've looked at the lighten section, let's look at the darken section, which is up here. So how that works is it takes, let me go back to screen because I want this to be a screen. So the darken section does is it takes any darker colors that are in the backgrounds and bring them forward. It's kind of weird and hard to explain, but I have this image, which I was just working on something, and I have this record, and I wanted it to look really like old, like an old picture. So I went online again, found just this, which I used multiply, which is one of the darken, because I wanted in this case, like normally, you can see it's just like this old film stock, and I wanted like the old film artifacts, like little grain and like all like those lines and stuff, and I wanted to show that. So with Lighten, obviously we have a white background here, but in this case we want the darker colors to come out in front, so we go to the darken section. So like same thing as here, darken multiplies like darken plus, and then like a couple other options that are for like more specific use cases. In this situation I'm going to use multiply because I like how it brings out this middle part and you can still kind of see the lines and everything. So yeah, those are blending modes. I use them all the time, especially like in this situation where I just want to add like a little particle effect, give it a little bit more texture, like in this section, and this one. So yeah, those are blending modes, and they're so easy. And you can experiment with them, right? So you don't have to be like, yeah, you can get crazy with it. Like, you can make, oh yeah, oh you can do, like if you want to give a picture like a color, like for instance, let's say this one, I wanted it to be a little bit more colorful or something. I don't know. You can just do like a solid color. I don't know, like this, and then you can give that a blending mode, and it'll make it like a dual tone kind of thing. You can mess with it around a bit, but or that. But yeah, you can make it so like only a specific color comes through as opposed to like darker or lighter. Yeah, you can experiment with a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I think it's fairly cool. So yeah, those are blending modes. You can do so much with blending modes. Like it's like you can do anything you want to. You just gotta think about it a little bit. Like it's fairly like you just gotta start using them a little bit, and then after a bit you'll just be like, you'll understand them and be like, oh wow, that I can do all this stuff and make my photos look cooler or more interesting, or give it a little bit of texture. Like if you want to make a picture look older, you can add like some like rips and tears on like a piece of paper, and then I'll link a video of Peter McKinnon doing something very similar. He's a cool photographer dude. But yeah, you can do a whole bunch of stuff with blending modes. Highly recommend you using them. Cool. Blending modes. Happy photoshopping and have a great day. Woo! Woo!